What is up, everybody? I'm your Legendary Commander, and welcome back to another episode of Baldur's Gate 3. In this video, we're going to talk about Bane versus Bless. So the reason why I'm pairing these two is basically they are almost interchangeable, but they're not at all. When you cast Bless, you gain a D4 to any of your rolls. So you'll make your D20 roll, and if it comes out a 16 and you roll a D4 and it rolls 3, well, now it's a 19. Bane is something you'll cast on your enemy, and when you cast it upon your enemy, they make their D20 roll, and let's say they got that 16, but they also rolled their D4 and got a 3. Well, now it's suddenly a 13, which means it might be below your AC, and they don't hit you. That's just the basics with this, and it makes you kind of wonder because, like, well, I can't cast both, or at least not without casting from a different caster. There are some things that let you run 2 concentration spells going at once, however, I can't think of them at the moment. And I don't think they're currently implemented in the game. So, when should you use Bane? Bane would probably be best used when you're fighting a few enemies. The reason why I say a few is if you've got a lot of enemies, well, Bane can't cover them all, and you're only going to receive a penalty to maybe 3, 4, depending on how high you upcast it. And then once you kill them, well, that's it, they're all gone, and you have to cast it again, burning another spell. Meanwhile, I say Bless to do the quite opposite. When you have a lot of enemies out there, Bless is probably going to be your better option because better saving throws, better attack rolls means you're more likely to hit and less chance to miss, which means you can more likely kill your enemies before they hit you. And since it's distributed amongst your own characters, unless for some reason you lose concentration, you can use it on every one of them, or until the spell runs out. Again, 3 or 4 or more, depending on whether or not you upcast is how many people you can bless. Now this is more along the lines of just basicness, because there's a lot more to think about than just, oh, I'm fighting 3 or 4 enemies, or I'm fighting 1,000 of them. I strongly suggest to use Bless against large groups, yes, but there are times when Bane might be more important. If you've got to stop people from hitting you because they hit super hard, Bane might be good to use on those enemies. However, in reverse, if you've got a lot of light enemies, this is where Bless is going to shine because you can exceed their AC more likely and less misses on weak enemies who then run up and happen to stab you by just pure luck. And then again, if they have a moderately high AC and you're having trouble exceeding that AC on a small group of enemies, Bless might be helpful in that case. Rather than taking a chance of getting hit so often, you'd rather just get your strike in and kill them quickly. And that's mainly just for use in combat, like once you're already in it. But in theory, you could Bless yourself or cast Bane before you enter combat. And if you plan to do something like that, well, again, thinking about how many enemies you're going to fight. If you're going to walk into battle, you want to try and go first. That way you can eliminate as many people as possible. Bless would probably do this job better if it's, again, a lot of enemies. However, Bane might be more helpful if the enemy is a few, because they will once, again, be baned and take a D4 penalty to their initiative roll. Now, Bless and Bane definitely change up when they're used outside of combat. Bless is totally a much better spell to cast if you're going to be out in non-combat areas. Bane could be seen as a hostile action taken upon someone and could start a fight. Meanwhile, if you bless your own characters, well, 1, it only happens to your own characters, and 2, it's not considered a hostile action. If you're going to have a conversation with somebody and you want to make sure you succeed on your checks, you could cast Bless, although at that point I'd say cast Guidance, as it's a cantrip. But if you had to pick between the two because you didn't have that cantrip, I would say pick Bless. But that's not where Bless ends. Bless can also help with perception checks. The enemy, the AI, probably won't make very many perception checks, and so if you were setting a trap, in theory, they're probably not going to even notice or care if you have a bomb set somewhere. Meanwhile, if you bless your own characters, you can see that bomb before you accidentally step into it, and you probably care more than they care. So for a perception check, Bless would probably be better, and then again, Guidance might be better as well. Last but not least, let's look at saving throws. These can happen in or outside of combat, generally inside combat. Bane is going to reduce enemy saving throws, which means if you're planning to cast a lot of spells that cause saving throws, Bane would be a good one for this. So if you're casting Fireball, for example. Also, caveat to that, the enemy would need to also have enough health where he could survive if he managed to save. Meanwhile, if he wasn't going to be able to survive if he saved, there's no point in casting Bane. Bless, on the other hand, would be good in case you're fighting some sort of mage that can throw area of effect damage spells like Shatter or Fireball. You're going to want to survive this stuff, and having the ability not only to hit your target more often, which means you can likely get rid of these mages quickly, but having the ability to only take half damage to make sure your characters survive, given your character is probably going to be tanky-ish, would probably be more helpful. If you want my overall general opinion, Bless is the better of the two spells. If you had to pick between the two, I highly suggest taking Bless. It will always help you. Bane, on the other hand, may not. There are just more situations that Bane can't help you in. But guys, that is going to be it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends. But y'all take care. And I'll catch you next time.